I'm going to elaborate a little more on what you guys are seeing or what you're hearing. So, it's funny because all over the rhetoric everywhere is Elon Musk. Okay, Elon Musk is the person or department head that was put in charge of an organization that was brought into existence under executive order for a very specific purpose. But I don't think many people realize what the purpose of Doge is, right? So everyone's talking about how we all the New Republic, like the New Republic's back, the city of Washington, all this stuff is back, right? But understand, just because there's a new plenary layer put in, the last thing you want to do is have poor or corrupt or bad assets put onto that plane, because it's clean, right? It's a clean slate. So Elon Musk is acting as a Grand Inquisitor of the Republic. What he is doing is he is going into each organization and he is auditing and reconciling those accounts. The reason those accounts have to be audited and reconciled is because once those accounts are reconciled and they're whole, this is what they do when you do a title search on a property before you buy a property. That is called an audit. You are auditing the property record to make sure that that property can now change hands. For these depositories and these accounts to move into the Republic, they have to be audited and they have to be reconciled. And every accountant knows this. Every accountant knows you cannot transfer with an encumbered title. That's what title insurance is for. He is cleaning up and making sure that the titles can be transferred away from the federal government, which is now nationalized inside Washington, D.C., back to the American nation in the Republic. Okay? That's what's happening. All right? So now the question is, when did that jurisdiction happen? Well, before the inauguration, the U.S. Army marched into Washington and took control. There was an article, and that article said that the troops, right? Because troops is in the Declaration, in the Bill of Rights. It says troops cannot be housed. It literally quoted, troops cannot be housed in private residences. That means private buildings. So the troops were housed in the federal building. It literally said in the article, housed in the federal buildings. The problem is those federal buildings were nationalized while they were housed there. When those federal buildings were nationalized, they were nationalized under the National Guard and the reserve units in the military. They're saying Elon Musk does not have clearance. You're right. You're absolutely right. He does not have federal NATO clearance like P. Diddy did. He has military clearance. His company launches and lands rockets and went to the International Space Station to rescue astronauts. You don't think you have some kind of military clearance? He doesn't have federal clearance because the federal government has been discharged and are being exiled because all the federal buildings in D.C. have been nationalized and are under military jurisdiction, under martial law. Okay? If you do some research, the Army National Guard was actually sworn in as deputies of the U.S. Marshal Service. Did you ever wonder why you hear about how they tried to block the doors? He didn't have clearance, they did this and that, and then all of a sudden they go somewhere and he's inside? Who showed up? Who do you think showed up? They're called troops. The federal government has been discharged. The federal government and the U.S. Congress have been discharged and exiled out of D.C. They're being removed. They are being evicted. And all of their assets are being nationalized back to where it's supposed to be, as one nation under God. Indivisible. Okay? So all the rhetoric, all the whining of the federal employees, you're damn right you're not going to be federal employees anymore. Not inside Washington, D.C. That is an international zone, and that's in national jurisdiction. It's not federal anymore. The federal government is Article 4 of the Constitution. Full faith and credit. Well, they have no faith. They've shown that. They are faithful to their own profiteers, and we have removed all their credit. They should have known in the Congress building where it says, "In God we trust," means in the trust division of the ministry of the U.S. Marine Corps and U.S. Army, we put our trust, we the people of the American Republic put our trust. We don't trust you. Don't ever forget it. But they didn't know what "in God we trust" means. We trust in our American ministry, in our American Republic, and our national guardians. We don't trust these clowns at all. And they're getting evicted. God bless. Godspeed.